back with us. Before we get into the game, let's talk about this new sporting director then. What will his priorities be?
Yes, Andrea Berta is in the building. He was Atletico Madrid's former sporting director and now he's in at Arsenal. A lot of people will be expecting a lot of big things from him in the transfer window, but I think the first priority for him is Arsenal's contract situation. So you've got the likes of Thomas Partey and Jorginho out of contract this summer, so will they get renewals or not? That's probably questions for Mikel Arteta. And then maybe some questions around Leandro Trossard as well. He's 30, 1 year left on his contract. There was previous interest from Saudi Arabia in Trossard last summer, so will they cash in on him? But the big ones come further down here. Bukayo Saka, just 2 years left. William Saliba and Gabriel, the two starting centre-halves, they have 2 years left as well. Gabriel Jesus, what do they do with him? He's obviously out with his ACL injury at the moment. Gabriel Martinelli is another one they'd want to extend. Arsenal typically do their contract negotiations in the summer. That's because Mikel Arteta doesn't want any contract negotiations to potentially impact the season and the important run-in that's ahead. So a lot of interesting contracts for Berta to think about.
Yeah, they've been so close over the past few seasons, haven't they? Just can't quite get over the line. So what is it that's needed to make them, turn them into a title-winning squad?
Yeah, well, let's take a look at Arsenal's squads in general. And they say title-winning squads need two big players in every position. So defence is actually all right for Arsenal because, yes, you have the likes of Tomiyasu as backup here, and Kivior could be sold along with Alexander Zinchenko, who's another player who's not made this graphic. But then you've got the likes of Timber can play left back, Calafiori can play centre back, White can play right back. It's all very fluid. Arsenal have got quite a good numbers here. But actually, we've picked out 3, maybe 4 key areas that Berta wanted to look at in the summer. The first of all is a new goalkeeper to challenge David Raya. But in terms of major positions, we've got the likes of Martin's central midfielder with Partey and Jorginho, who we've already discussed, are out of contract. Then you've got the big one, the centre forward. Arsenal haven't really invested in that position much under Mikel Arteta. And then you've potentially got a wide player as well if Trossard is to move on. Because also, if you look at the other side here, Gabriel Jesus is the only real backup to Bukayo Saka. That's if, as expected, Raheem Sterling's loan isn't made permanent. So, yeah, 3 or 4 key positions for Andrea Berta to address during the summer.
OK. So I'm seeing some holes. A gaping hole in midfield. What might the answer be there?
Yeah, well, the name everyone's talking about from an Arsenal perspective is Martin Zubimendi. It was announced in the January transfer window that Arsenal have made some serious head ground on this summer transfer, and it will be Berta's job to then get this deal over the line. As you can see from Zubimendi's stats for Real Sociedad this season, you can see big passing player for them, but also really good off-the-ball tackles, possessions won in the middle third, and interceptions as well. Obviously, we saw Zubimendi in the Euro 2024 final when he replaced Rodri at half-time, and Spain actually got better. So he's probably the leading candidate, not just for Arsenal, but for a lot of teams to address the number 6 position. Now, what impact will that have on someone like Declan Rice, for example? Will he then be a number 8 and therefore he'll be competing with Mikel Merino for that position next season? Very interesting to see. So, yeah, Zubimendi seems like the leading option for that defensive midfielder role.
Don't remember that final at all. It's totally erased from my memory. Right, so we also saw winger as well. So where are we at with that?
Yeah, so Arsenal looking for a winger to play on both sides, both wings. The name being talked about in the newspapers and the reports is Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams. Again, very much a Mikel Arteta player in terms of one-on-ones. That's what Saka and Martinelli do in terms of dribbles attempted, dribbles completed. But actually, they're not just dribbles for the sake of it. They lead to shots. He's one of the best players in La Liga at that. In the top 10 for an assist. And of course, a key part of any Arsenal player is to be good from set pieces. He has a joint most assists from set pieces. So, yeah, really interesting option here.
Don't remember him from last summer either. Right, I think we're getting something, aren't we? Yeah. A striker for Arsenal. There's a thing. Right, OK. Who might they go for then?
Well, again, the name being talked about this week is Victor Gyokeres of Sporting Lisbon. And what a season he's having over in Portugal. 36 goals in 34 games. And incredible. I found this stat pretty interesting as well. 133 shots from 34 games. Over 4 shots per game, which is really, really fascinating as well. He's not just a goal scorer, he's a chance creator, and of course Mikel Arteta likes those centre forwards who can do a little bit of everything. Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, very much in that mould, and of course shot accuracy, more likely than not to get the shot on target, which is something that Kai Havertz has been accused of not doing enough in an Arsenal shirt this season. So yeah, Gyokeres has actually played against Arsenal this season in the Champions League. Arsenal won that game 5-1, but a really interesting thing about Gyokeres that game, he did give William Saliba and Gabriel a hard time. Not many centre forwards do that. Have done that historically in the last few seasons. Perhaps the only other striker who's given them a lot of trouble is Alexander Isak, and yeah, he might be a little bit too expensive, a little bit too difficult to get. Gyokeres is perhaps the cheaper option, but also a lot of people will say Gyokeres doesn't have that Premier League experience. Remember, he did do a really good job in the Championship for Coventry City, which then brought about the move to Sporting Lisbon. He's the name everyone's talking about at the moment from an Arsenal perspective. Wonder if Arsenal will pay the big money to get him over the line.
Gyokeres to Arsenal, yes or no? Ooh, okay, we've talked about Arsenal signing a striker forever, it feels like. What do you think?
Yes.
Don? Yes?
I'm going to go yes. Leave Isak alone. He's a happy man where he is.
Okay.
So
they could do better, but not.
I'm starting that petition right now.
Stevie, is that the guy you'd go for? Certainly the position you'd go for.
Oh, I think there's a couple of guys you would go for before him, but would he make them better? Yes.
Okay. Don?
I tell you, yeah, I mean he would. Benjamin Šeško's been linked for quite a while, but I think he needs a little bit more work. He's not the finished product yet. He's a good player, Šeško, but I think Gyokeres definitely. But the one I think who's had a really good season, I think, would suit Arsenal is João Pedro at Brighton. I think he's an excellent centre forward.
Arsenal, the story, unfortunately, was a returning player in Bukayo Saka scoring, coming off the bench, and then losing Gabriel. Big news this morning. He will miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury, right as the Gunners are starting this crucial run, which you can see includes a two-legged Champions League quarterfinal against the reigning champions from Real Madrid. The first leg at the Emirates on Tuesday. So musty. When you take a look at Arsenal and what they want to accomplish this year, how much of a blow is this?
It's obviously a huge blow. Yeah. He's been one of the best central defenders in the Premier League for a number of seasons now, and I think this season, he's been at his very best, the best we've ever seen him. So it is a huge blow. Calafiori, a new player that came in, can play left-back, can play centre-back, has also had injury problems. Jakub Kiwior, who's ready to go, but isn't anywhere near the same level. They've got Real Madrid very soon in the Champions League, and that's really getting their focus, because it looks unlikely they're going to catch Liverpool. So this is a huge, huge loss.
Yeah, massive blow. Not just his defending, the spirit. He's got something about him. He blocks balls, he's fist pumping. His danger from corner kicks, which is a threat that would hurt Real Madrid, Gabriel. What I would say is that I know they're looking for a striker this summer and lots of things. I would also say go and find an independent sports scientist and try and figure out why so many players at this football club are picking up hamstring injuries. Sometimes back in the day, it's your training, it's your pitches, it's your recovery. There just seems to be something. This is too many of these kind of injuries that's happened to Arsenal.
It's a lot of clubs, to be fair. I mean, Spurs have had problems with hamstrings. You know, it's an argument for another day. The amount of games that Premier League teams are asked to play, you know, and we're seeing more and more hamstring injuries at not just Arsenal, but lots of clubs.
One quick thought for you, Rob, I was thinking about, because Kiwior, not great, and Calafiori's got an injury, Timber might be out. I was just thinking of a young man called Miles Lewis Skelly. Could he drop in at centre-half against Real Madrid against Mbappe?
It's an interesting
shout. Is that too much?
Because he's quick.
He's quick, he's physical.
You don't need to be...
He won't be overawed. Just a thought.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
They have some options there. It's a brutal league because we put pressure on the managers, we put pressure on the players, and now we're putting pressure on the athletic training staff
there you go.
here to figure out some of these injuries. You're not safe no matter where in the organisation you are with some of these clubs.
Arsenal have confirmed the appointment of Andrea Berta as their new sporting director. So what's on the former Atletico Madrid chief's agenda at the Emirates Stadium? Berta's most pressing task will be to strengthen Arsenal's attack. Their injuries this season have exposed a lack of depth in their forward line. The need for more firepower is clear. It's not just about getting players through the door at Arsenal, with key figures like Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Gabriel Martinelli all entering the final 2 years of their contracts this summer. There are players that need to be moved on too. Criticism has been labelled at Arsenal in the past for not generating enough through player sales, so Berta can look to have a big impact in this area. Berta's most pressing task will be to strengthen Arsenal's attack. Their injuries this season have exposed a lack of depth in their forward line. The need for more firepower is clear. Kai Havertz was on track for the highest scoring season of his career before his knee injury, but Arsenal have become too dependent on him. Having sold Edin Nketiah without replacing him last summer, and having lost Gabriel Jesus to a knee injury too, they are light on numbers as well as killer quality. The Soccer Saturday panel discuss Andrea Berta joining Arsenal as a sporting director and what the Italian's top priorities should be at the Emirates with Mikel Arteta. Can Berta help Arsenal broker a deal for one of their top targets? Alexander Isak reportedly figures highly on the club's shortlist, and there has also been interest in RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. The Gunners can't afford to draw another blank this summer. Arsenal had been closing in on a deal to sign Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi in the summer, Sky Sports News understands, only for recent reports to claim Real Madrid were now looking to also sign the Spain international. Zubimendi, 25, is under contract at La Real until the summer of 2027, but has a £51 million release clause, with Arsenal having been working on this deal since the beginning of the season. And so the Gunners will be hoping their new sporting director, who worked in the same role in the Spanish capital for 12 years while at Atletico Madrid, will be able to use his La Liga experience and connections to get this transfer finalised this summer. New Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta and manager Mikel Arteta are preparing to strengthen the squad, and Williams is well known to Berta after his long stint in Spain with Atletico Madrid. Arteta recently said it would be a big summer in the transfer market for Arsenal, and he was excited at the prospect of spending on new players.